Hey, everybody, welcome to a special edition of Talking Up Tuesday. Today is Sunday, but today we're going to have some conversation about a topic that is extremely important that I want to talk to you all about as we get ready to go into the first, second. We're nearing the third quarter of 2023 pretty soon. And I wanted to come to you today just to be able to have a conversation. We're going to be here for a while today. I'm going to spend probably anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour really going deep into this topic because I really want everyone who's tuning in to understand how important what I'm about to share with you is, especially for those of you who are business owners, which I know are most of you who watch this show, and those of you who are professionals in your career at what you do who might be thinking about making the transition into being a coach or a consultant. Maybe you're somebody who's in an industry where you're an agent, maybe you're a broker. But anybody out there who's watching and listening to this episode who could benefit from elevating the strength of their brand, who could benefit from creating an opportunity for them to be able to attract people to their platform who want to do business with them is really going to benefit from watching today's show. So I want to invite you to just sit down and relax and stay with me for a little while today because I'm really going to go into some detail about why I think starting your own talk show is going to be something that you should really consider, and just spend some time talking a little bit about what do I mean by starting a talk show. How do you go about starting a talk show, which is going to be the easiest way for you to be able to do that, and then just share some of the value and the benefits of taking this approach in your marketing. As many of you know, content and the way that we deliver and create content has been changing. Content now, the way that it's being delivered and the way that people are responding to it is very video based. And along with that change, many of us now have the power of broadcasting video content in the palm of our hand because we have this thing called a mobile phone. We have our laptops, we have our tablets. So unlike 30 years ago, when in order for you to really kind of put yourself on a platform where you can get enough exposure to reach millions of people, thousands of people, you used to have to go into a studio, hope for an opportunity to be invited onto a broadcast, or you may have had to pay for that exposure by either paying for a sponsored spot, buying advertising. It used to be so many barriers and hurdles for a small business to be able to put themselves out there and get in front of a large audience. That's not the case anymore, but many of us are still behaving as if that's the only way we can grow. Many of us are posting on our personal profiles on social media to people who are our friends and family who have totally no interest in what we do as a business owner or in using our products or services. So in order for you to be able to break outside of that mode and put yourself in front of people who really are interested in what you have to offer and what you do, I want you to take in consideration the power of starting your own talk show and utilizing the power of broadcasting to reach more people, to build your brand, to open the door of opportunities for you and for your business and for people that you work with and collaborate and partner with. So if you are here in the audience, let me know when you show up. Just go ahead and let me know where you're tuning in from. I also want to know, what industry are you in? What industry is your business in? Are you in the travel industry? Are you in the real estate industry? Are you in the healthcare industry? What industry is your business in? Just go ahead and leave that down here in the comments, and I'll talk about how you can get some ideas about how you can leverage starting your own talk show within those industries. So we're going to be providing that with you as we go throughout this show. So let's back up a little bit. I know some people who might be tuning in for this show are new. You may or may not know a little bit about me. I see we have our people out. I see our friend Wendy is out. Wendy from Wendy's Divine Travel. Hello and happy Sunday to you, Wendy. Thank you for tuning in today. Wendy is in the travel industry. Wendy, I think that is perfect. I have plenty of examples of how I can talk about leveraging a talk show in the travel industry to be able to support your goals as a travel agency owner. So we'll talk about that. Let me know, anybody else out there listening, what industry are you in? Because I'm going to be sharing some tips and giving you all some ideas about how you can leverage what I'm calling your talk show marketing to be able to build your audience and to build your business and create more opportunities for yourself. So if you are new to the channel and if you are new to me, my name is Michael Damon Campbell. I'm the owner of We Merge Media. Been in business for over 20 years, and my primary focus has been to help entrepreneurs put an image, build a brand, help them implement technology that's going to help them work smarter and not harder. I primarily focus on building the foundation for entrepreneurs who are starting businesses so that they have all the inner workings to do things successfully, whether that comes to marketing, how they take payments online, automating things within their building, in their business, creating automated processes that are going to allow them to be able to generate their leads lists and build their contact lists, put themselves out there. So over the years, 20 years, as you can imagine, providing marketing support services to small business owners, things are going to change. I've seen a lot of shifts. When I first started, I started out with a computer that was probably like $2,000, this big old huge monitor. I remember it was a compact Presario computer. I don't even think they are in business anymore, actually. But I had this huge computer. I had an AOL disk to get online, and I was there for that time. I remember when the internet started, and I was captivated from the beginning about all the things that were coming with that. And at that time when I was on, the internet was pretty much a place reserved for corporations. It wasn't a place for someone who's working from home could necessarily have a presence online that was going to be powerful and really help you build, in my eyes. If you were in e-commerce, when you were there, when e-commerce was starting out, building on eBay, people were using all these other platforms to be able to build at that time. Things looked a lot different at that time. But as time went on and the internet became more accessible, I started to notice that there are a group of local and small businesses who were really being left behind this process. Many of them didn't have the tech skills. They didn't really know and understand how to use the internet from a business perspective. And I was there during that time. I witnessed it. I got into building websites for small business owners because so many of them were missing out on those opportunities. So as people start to go online and start looking for information and trying to find solutions to their problems, if you as a small business owner weren't there, you were totally not even able to be considered. Things weren't localized the way that they were before. People are all over the place. People are spending money on the internet, increasing year by year, and things had changed. So I was there for that pivot, witnessed that, was being able to help some clients navigate that process. And then we get to the next era of the internet. And the next era of the internet introduced social media to us. MySpace, Facebook, what was that one with the photos? Tumblr, like all these platforms are out there. And, every time the advertising and the marketing and the corporations found a way to leverage those platforms. So many of us right now are still on the social media train. That's what's still popular right now. But social media in itself is evolving. The way that you show up on social media is changing. It used to be okay for you to post an image up, put some text down there. Maybe you were spending money on an ad. Facebook pages was new, like Instagram was still photo based, but now they've kind of switched over to video based. TikTok is now out. YouTube has grown. All of these platforms have been shifting and growing over the years. And the number one thing that all of these platforms have in place that all of us have the power to utilize, but most of us don't have the tech skills or the support to use it, is video content. So video is, regardless of which platform you're on, one of, if not the most popular piece of content on any of those platforms that I named. So if you as a business owner don't have the tech skills, don't know the know-how, don't have an infrastructure or a team to be able to support you in creating video, releasing video, editing video, you are about to miss out again on another transition. And I don't want to see y'all missing out on that transition. So today I'm going to be talking about the power of starting your own talk show. I'm going to give you some background information about what are the potential opportunities for you, regardless of what industry you're in. And I'm going to offer you a solution about how you can get your talk show started the easiest way possible and give you some options to be able to do that. So if anybody who's just tuning in today, we're going to talk about starting your own talk show. I'm asking everyone who's tuning in to let me know in the comments, what industry are you in? What industry are you in? So that as I'm talking about starting a talk show and I'm sharing ideas with you, I can speak specifically to those of you who have shown up here and told me your industry, and to give you some ideas about how you might be able to leverage this type of marketing in your business. So Carmen Ray is checking in here. Hey, Carmen, thank you for checking in. We have all of our OGs in the house. Hey, Keisha Tate tuning in here. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments what industry you're in, so I can share some ideas with you about how you can get your talk show started. So when I talk about a talk show, let's talk about what we know as talk shows. Most famous Oprah talk show. You think about news broadcasts, those talk shows, they have guests, they have interviews. You have all throughout the day, you have 24-hour news channels that are inviting people on, having people speak, putting people in position to be able to be in front of a bigger audience so they can grow and attract people who want to do business with them. Let's think more about talk shows. Back in the day, you had the talk shows with the Jerry Springers and the Sally Jesse Raphael, going way back in the day. All of these platforms, if you think about all these shows were on traditional over-the-air TV. And anybody who appeared on those shows got the benefit of being in front of an audience. So we highly valued that back then. People truly, truly valued being on one of those shows that was going to put them in position to be seen by people that they weren't otherwise connected to. That kind of exposure can come with a big ticket, a big price ticket sometimes. You may have to pay a publicist who has the relationships and connections to get you on there. Maybe it's a paid segment where you're paying a advertising fee to be able to get a little bit of time on those shows. Some of them you had to come on, depending on what kind of, or I'm specifically talking about business, you had to reach a certain level of success for somebody to value having you on. And you had to come to the table with the area of expertise, so that they know that adding you to that show was going to add value to their audience. So all of those things that I talked about, all those opportunities that arise from being on a talk show, are things that we all can leverage today as entrepreneurs, as coaches, consultants, agents, whatever industry you're in. We all can leverage those things for ourselves today. So when you think about, like, okay, everybody watching this probably has a phone. If you're a business owner, I know that there's something that you've mastered, that you've become very good at, and you are really able to leverage the technology. But can you do it consistently? And do you have the skill set to really do it in a way where it's going to be effective? So when I think about all the people that I work with, my clients, and I ask them, where's your YouTube channel? Where's your podcast? Why aren't you creating more video content? I commonly we're hearing the same things over and over again. Number one, people have the perception of it being just way too much time. Like, I don't have time to do that in my schedule, right? That's one of the things, time. Another one of the things is that many of us have this perception that we have to have this full-on production studio, hair, camera, lights, makeup team in place in order for us to be able to record a video. We think we need expensive cameras. We need big, huge studio lights. We need to have a team of people who are producing our show and doing all these things for us, right? Many of us believe that we can't do it because it requires all these things. Now, I will say, because I know that I have two types of clients. I have clients who have more time than money, and I have clients who have more money than time. So in each of those scenarios, there's a way to work around this solution. And I want to dispel some of the myths about what you believe needs to happen. Here at WeMerge Media, we've come up with a format and a formula that we use, that if a client will give us 60 minutes a week, that's 1 hour, we'll be able to help that client produce enough content to get started with their own talk show broadcast on YouTube. We can get your video broadcast on Spotify. We can produce a video content for Facebook Watch, which is Facebook's video platform. We'll be able to help you produce audio content that you can then distribute through things like Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Music, all these different platforms that people are consuming information. There are billions of people out there who are consuming information in an audio or video format. In addition to all of that, the same one video that you created with us for 60 minutes can then be divided up into a number of different pieces of content that you can use across social media. So, have you heard of Instagram Reels? Have you heard of TikToks, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts? Think about the ones that you've watched. Never is it a full on 1 hour episode. In most cases, it's probably about 1 or 2 minutes, and it's usually taken from a video that was already produced. So imagine if you were to create a 30-minute video, how many 2-minute segments, if you, depending on, how great you outlined your video, let's say you just had a good maybe 5 talking points that you can bring out of that video that you're recording once a week in that 1 hour time period. You now have a different reel video, a 2-minute video that you can post across Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, 5 days a week. If we were able to pull 5 clips out of that one video that you took an hour to record every week, you now have 5 days worth of content that you can post. So a lot of people think that for every platform that they create content for, and every day they have to create something new. Let me tell you, the people that you're watching and the people who are out there creating content and putting content out like crazy aren't doing that. If they gotten to the point where they have a team of people who are, they're traveling and they're doing all these things, yeah, they might be. There's select few people who are doing that, but most people are using a format where you create one long form piece of content, which could be your talk show. And that talk show is then edited so that it can create what we call short form content, which is then used for your stories and your reels and your TikToks, YouTube shorts, and all that stuff. So that's the formula. And I understand the things that get in the way of that are really people trying to get over the hurdle of like, how do I make all this happen? What technology do I use? I was really hearing that on a consistent basis. And there are some people who can grasp that and take that and run with it. Those are my do-it-yourselfers. Those are the people who might like, I dig this stuff. I want to learn how to do it. I want to be self-sufficient. And that's great. We developed a master class for that. We have tutorials to help people through that process. But there's a bigger audience of people who are just like, I really just want to show up. I really just want to walk in the door, have somebody record me, and then I do my thing and I walk away. So I know for most of you, if that's something that sounds like you, go ahead and put a heart down there and let me know. But most of you just want to show up, do your thing, show out, and exit the stage and let the content do what it's due. So, we launched this new service called Talk Show Pro, and that's exactly what it is. I've been asked for years, like, is there a way that you can record with me? I only can record with so many people at a time because I only have so many people, so much time in the day to do my own thing, plus all the other stuff. But over the past year, since I know that I was hearing that so much, I've been training people to be our virtual studio producers who can duplicate the process of recording you in one of those sessions and then taking that content and being able to repurpose it for you. So that's what the Talk Show Pro is. I want to share some more facts to you, talk a little bit about the audience, about at my own point, are those things that I talked about things that have been preventing you from starting your own show? Is it the technology? Is it really kind of knowing how to put your show together? What's been in the way for you? I'm going to come here and see what some of the comments are from our listeners. Imani, thank you for tuning in. She says, I'm late, but I'm here. Yes, you are. I prefer to hire to my weakness. That is brilliant. Brilliant. Yes, hiring to your weakness is smart because the amount of time it might take you to try to master something versus you spending X amount of dollars to be able to pay somebody to do it for you to get it done faster. It comes a point in our career and in our profession when we've mastered our thing and we just simply know what we will and we will not do. I know I've reached that point. And it ain't always for everybody to try to take everything on and wear multiple hats. As a business owner, especially a solo business owner, you often wear too many hats as it is in the first place. So anytime you have an opportunity to be able to hire to your weakness, like Amani said, Take advantage of that because we all get to this point where we realize that our time is much more valuable than our money. Another thing Amani said, I want to work smarter and not harder. Exactly. Okay. So there are definitely some barriers that I'm very familiar with, and I really wanted to remove that by creating this version of this service called Talk Show Pro to be able to lift those things away from you. So when I think about a talk show and you think about a talk show, a lot of you might be asking, well, how can it be a talk show if it's not on a major network and if it's not on TV? How is this service going to help me and how is it going to give me the same benefits of a talk show with you? Where did that music come from? I got some music playing. Hold on a second. Okay, y'all probably can't hear it, but I can hear it. Here we go. Okay. So I want to just share some stuff with you on my screen real quick, and we're going to talk a little bit about my own little journey to give you a kind of some idea about what kind of opportunities come from you doing what I'm describing of you starting your own talk show, what that might look like for you as a small business owner. A lot of us know that, we need to find a way to get in front of more people. We want to increase the number of people who can be exposed to our offers and what it is that we do as business owners. We're tired of trying to convince our family and our friends to be our customers and our clients and to refer people to our services. Like it gets a little bit exhausting. And honestly, it's understandable. They don't know what we know. They don't understand the business the way that we understand the business. But on the flip side of that, you spend all this time and this effort trying to convince people who aren't necessarily your clients to try to be clients or supporters of yours. On the other side, there are all these people who are out there looking for information, trying to find somebody to help them with the very same thing that you do. Wendy talked earlier about being a travel agent and being in the travel industry, owning a travel agency. Do you not think that there are people who are online trying to find information about a destination that they want to go to, or plan a trip and try to figure out, like, if I go to this place, what type of things should I check out? What's the best time for me to go there? What things do I need to take in consideration before I go? So with Wendy having a talk show of her own, there are a number of different ways that she'd be able to leverage that opportunity and get in front of that person who is out there looking for those types of answers to a question related to travel. Maybe somebody wants to start a home-based travel business and they're not quite sure where to turn. Nobody in their personal network is going to be able to help them with that. They might go online, most likely. They may go on something like YouTube and find out, how do I start a travel business? They might Google it. There are a number of different ways that people can do that. And if you understand the way that information is presented to people based on their search, you understand the value of you being one of those people who are putting content out there to answer those types of questions. So as a talk show host, as someone who starts their own talk show, Wendy could have a talk show channel out there that's streaming on all of these different platforms, that's talking about all these destinations and giving people those answers to those questions that they really want. What else could Wendy do? She could invite maybe a person from a destination, a visitors and convention bureau, to be a guest on her show. Someone who has been in that field for a long time, know the destination in and out, who could be a featured guest on her show and add some authority to whatever the topic is. So just imagine if you were able to reach out to someone, let's say from the Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau, invite them onto your show. Do you not think they're going to be excited about that opportunity and tell people within their network about them appearing on that show? Inviting maybe someone who's a sales rep from a tour company or from a hotel to share some insights about their hotel. Each of these different components of travel, the airline, the tour operators, the hotel operators, the destination bureau, the restaurants that are in those destinations, all these people are depending on traffic, visibility, and awareness and need people to be able to know that they exist so that they can express some interest in consuming whatever it is they have to offer. So that's where the magic of having like your own talk show comes into play. Wendy can simply do all this stuff from home. She could put her channel together, make her outreach out to all these different people who are depending on exposure to be able to sell whatever it is they have to sell. And they would gladly come on and be guests on these platforms at no charge to you in most cases, because it's supporting their goal. So it's just important if you think about, okay, if I'm having a talk show, what are my topics? I need to know who my audience is, and I need to know what type of information my audience is going to be looking for, and align that with people that I might want to invite on as guests. So those are just one example of how you could leverage a talk show format. By doing that, you now have built like this archive, this library of videos that are always going to be searchable for people who are looking for information about that topic. I know that a lot of us have been investing a lot of time and energy in creating reels and shorts and a lot of the social media contact, which is also another good way to get exposure, but it's very short lived. How many times have you gone onto somebody's social media and went back and searched for something that they might have been talking about? Most of the times it's something that happens in that moment where somebody sees something, likes it, shares it. It's a very short lived moment. But imagine having a longer form piece of content that you're educating somebody and really providing a lot of value, how they're going to stick with you on that. Perfect examples of that is back in 2021, I think it is. Let me pull it up. Yeah. Back in 2021, I got a little more serious about starting my own talk show, and I called it Tech Talk Tuesday is what it was. And Tech Talk Tuesday had been something that I had around for a couple of years, but I really wasn't producing content on a regular basis. At that time, I had about 275 subscribers. I had committed to doing one show a week. So this very same formula that I'm talking to you about spending 1 hour a week. Actually, I was doing 30 minutes a week. I was doing one episode a week to be able to put enough content out there about all the different things that I had expertise on. So at that time, I had 275 subscribers, right? Let's say I do that for a year, and I continue to do that. I took a little bit more seriously than I had in the past. And currently, as of 2023, even with the break, because in last year, at the beginning of this year, into last year, I kind of switched and made some changes, and I didn't make my show every week. I'm about to get back to making my show. But I went from 275 to 1,089 subscribers. So on YouTube, that opens the door up for some additional opportunities that I didn't have. But you can see within that time period of me just spending an hour a week, I've been able to grow to an audience of 1,008 subscribers. Now, your subscribers are just one metric, but the other metrics, even though there might be 1,008 subscribers, there are, I think the last time I checked, my channel had about, I want to say 150,000 views, I believe. Not everybody who watches your videos is going to be a subscriber. So even though the subscriber number might be at a certain level, the views that you get are often higher. That's why when you're watching these videos, they're always asking people, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, because most people who watch your videos aren't necessarily subscribers. So this is one of those examples of how if you can commit to creating some content on a regular basis, you're able to put something out there that's of value for people to answer questions that are important to them, and positioning yourself to be the expert on that topic, then you open the door for you to be able to grow that audience. This is real world proof of what it looks like when you do that. For me to be able to spend 1 hour a week creating a piece of video content, and I'm doing all my own editing and everything with the Talk Show Pro service, you don't even have to do that. All you have to do is come show up. Everything else is taken care of for you. But that's just kind of the example of what kind of growth you can get when you do this on a regular basis. What I find is once people get comfortable and they get that one, I always say start with the once a week. You can always increase that number, do special episodes in between, but commit to once a week. Most people I find can commit to doing once a week. There's never anything blocking you from being able to do more than that if you need to, okay? But at least try to start with doing one episode a week. So where was I going with this? Talking about creating content for an audience so that audience can find you and want to do business with you, right? So let's continue this conversation to just talk about, like, what audience are we talking about? Are you only limited to the people that you're personally connected to? Absolutely not. If you take in consideration all the different platforms that you're able to have your talk show distributed on, there are billions of people who are out there. You aren't just limited to the number of people who follow your page. Most people who consume your content on these channels don't even know you, don't personally know you. It's just that you talked about something that was of interest to them, that they like more information on, and they want some information on it. And that's the kind of thing that ends up getting people to fall in love with your content, your personality. I have a video that I've done teaching people how to find their Zoom recording. That's been a huge video for me. I continue to get people thanking me, reaching out to say like, hey, do you do Zoom training? Can you teach me how to do XYZ? Like these opportunities that come from these people who are perfectly good strangers that I know nothing about, are all possible because I'm producing content of value to a segment of people. They're finding it and they're reaching out to want to do business with me in other ways. So when I just talk about like, think about your own viewing habits, 6 out of 10 people prefer online video platforms to live TV. Live TV has lost a lot of its power because we have so many different ways that we can consume content now. And of all these online video platforms, each of us has access to leverage these things. So, I want you to start repositioning the way that you view what's in your hand, what's in that app on your phone. We put so much value on these networks to be able to open doors and opportunities with us. But when you put the same power in our hands, we don't leverage them. I don't think people understand the power of using these things to your own advantage and not just being a consumer of them. Because more people do. When I'm sitting down on my TV, I'm often opening up one of these apps and watching something on there, not necessarily from the major networks. YouTube alone, there's 2 billion people logged into YouTube on a regular basis monthly. So think about that. 2 billion people on one platform who are constantly logged in, searching for content, looking for information. That's an audience that costs you nothing but your time to produce some content and do what you already do and putting that in front of those people. To be able to put yourselves in front of them and create opportunities. Facebook, 2.74 billion active users on there. Spotify has been growing. Spotify, YouTube, they've been competing with each other. YouTube now launched a podcast version so that you can distribute your podcasts on there. Spotify now launched a video. Most of you don't know that. So, when you're working with us through the Talk Show Pro, we're going to help you get your videos on Spotify in addition to YouTube. You benefit from these two kind of warring with each other for your content. All free. None of this stuff costs you anything except for the time and money that you might put into producing your content, but the exposure is free. Apple Podcasts, people still listen to audio podcasts. There's like 28 million people monthly, when I last checked, listen to Apple Podcasts or your audio content. So when I talk about your video content, your audio content, I don't want you to think, oh man, I have to sit down now and I have to make 2 things. If you use the formula that we use in the Talk Show Pro, you're creating one thing once a week, which is going to turn around and give you a video format and an audio format, in addition to a number of different social media pieces that you can use. So there's just so many ways that you can use this content. I think that you have to just really kind of reframe the way that you view what you have in your pocket. So let me just take a look here. Monty said there's so many people looking for our offers. We have to make sure we show up when they're looking. Exactly. And what's better than showing up than when people are looking? So what's nice about that is that you don't always have to be live. The content that you create and you distribute through these platforms is going to live there. So even when I'm asleep, I'm getting notifications about people who found that Zoom video who are reaching out to see if I can provide them with coaching and training. If I can host a training for their company and teach their people how to use Zoom. Like all these things have happened off video that I made 2-3 years ago because somebody found value in it and reached out. So those are the kind of opportunities that come from this kind of stuff. You don't have to be live all the time in order to be able to engage and do that. She said sometimes we take social media for granted. Absolutely. I was just today, I'm in a challenge with Amani and Carmen. Shout out to Amani for putting this challenge together. For the next 30 days, we have this set of stuff that we're doing to promote our business offers. And one of them is going live twice a day. So here's my one. Even though I'm live on like 6 different platforms. I don't know if that counts. I'm live right now on 6 different platforms, but I went onto Instagram to record a live, and I was amazed at the features that they had in there, how much stuff that I could do that I haven't used in a long time. So we do take these things for granted. Oftentimes, I think people feel like it has to be this huge part of their day. But if you follow the formula that we do in Talk Show Pro, where you're just making a piece of content and then having it repurposed on all these different platforms, it really doesn't have to exceed more than an hour a week following that formula. So starting your own talk show, let's talk about how you can start your own talk show. Let's talk about the easiest way to do that. And then I'm going to get you some information about, if this is something that's a good fit for you, how to get in touch with me so that we can help you do that. We have everything on our website that's going to guide you through that process. I talked earlier about some of the benefits of starting your own show. So one, think about, it's different when somebody's Googling a piece of information and they might come across an article or a blog post. The fact that people can Google some information, search for some information on YouTube and Facebook, and have an opportunity to connect with you as if you're really there in person, because they're able to see you on video, because they're able to hear your voice, ask questions in the comments and get a response. Like, that creates a very powerful connection with people. It gets people to be able to bond with you without your physical presence. So, that piece of content that you make, I talked about that video about Zoom that I made that's been out there for years, that continues to bring people to the front door, asking me different ways that they can work with me. It just opened so many doors, and I've only had to make that video one time. Okay. So think about the connection that can get made from somebody watching one of those videos because they've been able to consume information in that way. Another thing that it does is it really fosters community. You think about Oprah, you think about wherever Oprah goes, she's put so much time and energy into building her audience. Her people are going to follow. She's been able to do the book club, her magazine. So as you develop these powerful connections with people, you're also building a sense of community amongst the people who are fans of yours, who then become supporters and customers of other things that you do, who have grown to trust you and seek your expertise on that thing that you do so well. So it creates a lot of opportunity for you if you were to leverage this platform of starting your own talk show to be able to connect with other people. We often try to figure out, like, where's my tribe? How do I get to my true fans? This is a perfect way to get to your true fans. And it gives you the opportunity to not only just build people who might be consumers or customers or clients of yours, but you can use this to put other people on. So if you build up your audience and you're inviting your business partners and other people who might benefit from a business relationship with you to be featured on your platform, now you're creating all these different avenues of exposure for not only yourself, but your community, but for the people that you're putting on as well. And that becomes reciprocal. So it's a powerful thing to be able to do. I often talk to my clients about discoverability. What I mean by discoverability is same thing Amani talked about earlier. When people are looking for answers, what do you have out there that is going to help you come up? I know a lot of people have businesses, they have expertise, but if I was to go online and look for that proof, they have nothing there. They don't have any blog articles. They don't have any press features. They don't have any videos. So how am I to know that you're somebody who can solve my problem if I can't find anything about you and if you're not discoverable? Having your own talk show is going to give you an opportunity to establish that, to create the social proof that you need for people to be able to see what you do and trust it and want to be able to conduct business with you. Last but not least, really just I talked about establishing expertise. It's going to be important for you to think about, what are my goals when I start my talk show? Like, how can I use this opportunity to make sure that people remember me, see me, and think about me in my industry on this topic so that they get to the point they want to trust me? And that's really going to come from your consistency. How often are you talking about the things that are important to the people who you want in your audience? What methods of information delivery are you delivering this? Is it through audio, through video? I talked about just following the formula that we have within the program. All that stuff's automatic. You're going to get everything that you need automatically. So I'm hoping at this point that you starting to put the picture together. that you can see the opportunities that exist when you follow this formula of creating your own talk show. I know that the process of using the technology and all this stuff has always been a barrier for people. This service, Talk Show Pro, really eliminates that problem anymore. We do all the stuff for you. So all the things that people have voiced to me as being reasons why they can't start have been taken in consideration and have been resolved. The way that it works is that we have a virtual studio that will set up based on your brand. So the way that I'm here inside of my studio right now, you would have your own custom graphics with your name at the bottom, with your logo. We would design all that stuff for your first show. So you'll have a dedicated video producer who's going to be there with you on the day that you're recording. We're going to be doing recorded content, so that way we can make sure the best product possible is delivered for you. So when you use the Talk Show Pro service, all you have to do is show up inside of our virtual studio. If you're having a guest, we'll give you that link that you need to invite your guests, bring you inside the studio, and then our team's going to basically direct everything from that point. We'll, do the recording. We'll listen and watch for the things that need to be edited out so that you don't have to worry about that. So you can really just be present with your guest, be present in your topic, and take that time to really shine in your area of expertise. Once that video is done, we're going to take care of the video editing for you. Prior to you doing your first show, we're going to help you set up your distribution channel. So if you don't have your YouTube and your Facebook and your Spotify account set up, have your podcasting platform set up, we're going to get all that stuff squared away so that by the time we're done with your first episode, that video can be edited, produced, released, and then you'll just be out there starting to build up your library. I already talked about the graphic design and the show graphics, the short video clips. We'll create some video clips that you can then repurpose to social media. We'll provide the audio podcast. Honestly, once we get the video edited and distributed, there's really nothing for you to do once you set it up. All you have to do is start planning the next show. We have templates that you can use to plan your show that's going to help you outline the order in which you speak, make spaces within your show for commercials to be dropped in if that's something that you're doing, give you the files that you need for the long video on YouTube and Facebook watch, as well as the short ones. In this process, we're going to be consulting and coaching you so that, if you're new to this and you're worried about, I'm not quite sure how to do this or that, or what kind of mic I should have. I'm using a cell phone right now. I'm using a mic that I think I paid maybe like $80 for. And I have a ring light that cost me like $20. That's essentially what I'm using and what I have been using for the past 2 years. I'll let you know what those things are that we need to get a good quality video from you recording at home or in your studio. The templates are going to be yours. We'll give you tips on how to monetize. Maybe there's affiliate relationships that you could use. Maybe there's people within your network who could benefit from advertising their business during your show. All that stuff's going to be provided when you take advantage of the Talk Show Pro service. So how can you get started with Talk Show Pro? Where can you get answers to all your questions about how this service works? I'm going to pull the website up. What you can do is go to wemergemedia.com. That's my website. And on that page, you're going to see a tab on top, services in the menu. And there's one that says start a talk show. So if you go to wemergemedia.com, I'll make sure I have it up on the homepage too. That's going to be the best place for you to get started if you are wanting to start your own talk show and you don't want to do it on your own. On the page here, it's going to take you through the pricing so you can see what the different pricing options are. We basically offer 3 different levels. I recommend doing 4 sessions. That's 4 sessions that you can then have repurposed and edited. We would do that once a week for that. If you want to do an ongoing series, then every month you can buy 4 sessions and you have your weekly episodes to put out. We also offer 2 sessions. So if you're starting out and you just kind of want to get started on a little bit slower basis to get your feet wet, we can do the 2 sessions. And then we also offer a single session. A single session is maybe you want to, test the waters, do a video for promotional purposes, do an interview with somebody, you can use that for that. So we've taken into consideration all the different levels of need. But if you're somebody who's really trying to build an audience, and you want to build up your YouTube channel, you want to do your shows and stuff pretty frequently, 4 sessions is going to give you 1 weekly session. That's what I recommend that you take advantage of. So on this page as well, you'll be able to see there's some frequently asked questions here. So I'll explain how it works, how much it costs, how many sessions you should buy. That's really going to depend on what your goals are and the turnaround time for your sessions. So all that stuff is at wemergemedia.com. Just click in the services menu and click on start a talk show, and you'll find all the information there. You can also go to the description here on this video. I'm going to also put the link in the chat, and that'll help you get to the information too. So I hope you understand after watching this video all the many benefits of starting your own talk show, the reasons why it's going to help you grow your business, how easy it is now that you don't have to be the only one solely taking full responsibility for all your production and distribution because we're doing all of those things for you. Check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. Hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be continuing to talk about this topic and bringing more information and tips to you. Earlier we had Wendy. Wendy, I hope you were able to take advantage of some of those tips I shared for you starting in the travel industry. There's just so many ways that we as entrepreneurs can leverage this opportunity of using broadcasting and starting our own talk show to be able to build an audience and grow the business to the revenue goals and our time freedom goals that we really want. So thank you for tuning in to this episode. Go to wemergemedia.com and schedule your first sessions. Okay. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.